Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. My name is Danilo Bonilla. I'm one of the advisors at the UCLA International Education Office, and we're very happy this week because it's GLOW, the Global Learning Opportunities Week, and we will have a 30-minute presentation about political science. And my contact information, by the way, is on the screen. Danilo Bonilla. My email is on there. We will also have Charlie Ruano, who is the advisor at the Political Science Department. He's going to give a couple of details about political science and petitioning. And then we have a couple of returnee students, and we will ask them some questions about their courses, their university, and some other details. Let's see, let's go ahead and advance to the next slide. Again, welcome from the UCLA International Education Office. So the International Education Office is a one-stop shop for all study abroad questions, opportunities. We have study abroad, internships abroad, various unique and diverse study abroad opportunities. We have many advisors and counselors to help you throughout the whole process. And then we can also connect you with UCLA students who have returned from studying abroad. By the way, there is a chat function. So if you have any questions, go ahead and type in your chat, your questions. And then also at the end, we will have a little bit of time to answer them as well. Okay, so here is the agenda for today. We're going to go over some refreshers, 101, study abroad 101 refreshers, and we will talk about studying abroad as a political science major. We'll give you some great examples of sample programs, and then again, questions and answers with the returning students. Okay, study abroad 101 refresher. So on Monday, we actually had a webinar. It's recorded on the UCLA IEO website. So if you missed it, please go back and take a look at it because it is very informative. It's all the details about program types, credit transfer, the cost and funding of programs, the application process, timelines, deadlines, all that, all those details. So very, very important. Make sure you go back to the UCLA IEO website and take a look at it. This webinar is specifically about political science, about petitioning to get classes counted for your majors or minors. And again, we will have a session with the returning students. We will ask them some questions. Just a quick refresher, again, there are many types of programs. One of the first programs that I like to highlight is the immersion program. The immersion program is where you study at a local university abroad with local professors, local students. So you have the opportunity to be fully immersed and integrated into that language, culture of that city, university, or country. So again, great program, university immersion programs. The other type of program that we have are the UCLA summer travel study programs, which are led by UCLA faculty, and they are short-term only during the summer, about 3 to 5 weeks long. And they have a slightly different model, which is basically on the go, very experiential type of programs. Again, excellent, excellent option. And that's UCLA faculty-led programs. We also have during the summer special internship programs where you are actually doing an internship. You're not getting paid, but you are getting units, grades, and GPA on your UCLA transcript. So again, very specialized, unique internship programs and research programs as well. So again, this is just 3 out of many, many programs that we have here with International Education Office. Okay, a quick other refresher is not all programs are the same. Some programs you will be living with host families. Some programs you will be living only with UC students. Other programs you'll be living with local or international students. And everything kind of varies from program to program. They're all very unique and diverse. So just please keep that in mind. So to help you narrow down your programs, on the UCLA IEO website, there is a special page. It's basically called How to Choose Your Program. And it's going to ask you some goals about studying abroad. For example, what is it that you want out of study abroad? Do you want to just go abroad to learn a language, culture? Do you want to focus on your major? Do you want to focus on GEs? So again, use this website, this specific page on the UCLA IO website to help you narrow down programs, because as you know, there are hundreds and hundreds of programs to choose from. Another quick reminder, make sure that you apply for FAFSA every single year. If you do plan to receive state and federal financial aid, your financial aid does transfer, and there are scholarships available. So again, please log into the UCLA IO website and click under where it says Finances on the Finances tab, and you'll see a list of different types of scholarships, both merit and on need base. So when to apply, some programs you have to apply as early as 9 months. Is it competitive? Generally not, but do keep in mind that there are some programs that are on a first come, first served basis. So for example, for summer and fall programs, most of the programs are open now. Some of them will open on November 1st or the middle of November. And some of them have even opening dates or opening dates or deadlines in December, January. So always keep an eye on the deadlines on the UCLA IO webpage. If you're thinking about going for winter or spring of 2024, you would have to wait until this coming January 2023 to apply. Okay, so studying abroad as a UCLA political science major. And this is when Charlie is going to join me to explain a couple of slides. But basically, you're not obligated to study within your major. You can do a little bit of GEs, maybe foreign language, but while you're doing all of these types of programs, you're still making progress towards your degree. Because again, if you do a program with UC, University of California, grades, units, GPA, they will show up on your UCLA transcript. So not all programs are designed around your major, but again, just be open in choosing your program and choosing classes abroad. Okay, so, but yes, if you are interested in studying in political science, Charlie will give you some details about petitioning and how to go about that.
All right.
So, yes, go right ahead, Charlie.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm the one, well, first off, my name is Charlie Rano. I'm the undergraduate counselor for the political science department. And whenever there's anything that has to do with course substitution petitions, which these will fall under, you can just email them to me or use Message Center. But the quickest way is probably just emailing me because I have it in my inbox and I can find it a lot easier. But okay, so when studying abroad, many classes classified as political science by UCEAP may be counted for upper division credit, but do not count as departmental. So let me explain that. So for the political science major, there's 10 upper division courses that you need. This will be in the next slide, but I'm just saying it now. There's 10. 8 of them have to be taken at UCLA. 2 of them can be from studying abroad. But like I said, there's a petition process for that. You have to I can actually put in the chat for you all. I'll put the link. And I kind of updated it to make sure it was more clear and concise. So you would click that and scroll down a little bit and it would say how to submit the petition. And when submitting the petition, you need a syllabus and you need the petition itself. And you're saying, well, I'm not in the course yet. How am I supposed to have a syllabus? What a lot of students do is they actually get pre-approval from me, meaning they try to get the syllabus from the professor or somehow just get it to me before they even attend the course to find out that if they go and they take the course, if they'll be getting credit for it. Of course, like he mentioned earlier, you will get like units for it for your overall degree. But when it comes down to actually fitting into your political science requirements, you would have to submit a petition. It doesn't like automatically jump in, even if it's a poli-sci course. The only thing about the petition process is that is kind of like the downside of it. It takes a while for it to be approved or denied or processed. It takes about a month and a half. That's why I say a lot of students get pre-approval from me. Or students can also come to me who say, hey, Charlie, is there any way I could find out if this course has been approved in the past? And I bring this up because I can actually see, let's say you're going to sign up for a course, poli-sci, as example, 128, political theory, but abroad, somewhere in Rome. You can actually come to me before you even do the petition and ask me, hey, I want to know if this course has been approved in the past. Can you let me know? And I'll go look over the process petitions. And if I see that it's been approved in the past, I can actually put it in for you. You don't even have to submit a petition. So like I said in the beginning, please always reach out to me first when it comes to any other petitions. We do have another counselor named Agustin Arredondo. He's an awesome counselor too, but he usually forwards the petitions to me, but he knows a little bit about petitions as well, but I'm the one that actually processes them. And like I said, reach out to me first because it does take a little while. And, you know, I don't want a student to go and then don't ask me about it. And then they come back and assume that the course would count towards poli-sci. It doesn't. When you know went over there, spent all that money. And I mean, it is a beautiful place to go, but you know, at the end of the day, you do want your units. And I also wanted to talk about the different ways you can have it added to your political science requirements. As you all may know, since I'm assuming many of you are political science, or if not all, political science majors, there's your concentration you have to work at for upper division, your distribution field, and your elective. When doing that petition, there's a request at the bottom of the petition. I would need it to be at least half a page to a page in length, where you basically state your case of how you feel that course you took either resembles a political science course, or you feel that it has enough political science elements to be counted. Because you can actually choose where you want to put that course. Like the last bullet point, those are the concentrations. Maybe you feel like it falls under methods and models, and you just say that in the request. I look it over. Just to say, I don't choose if it gets approved or denied. That's someone else who does it, but I do process them. I make sure that before they get to the next person that, you know, process them, I make sure that they're ready to go. Because some students just say, I want a petition for this course, and they don't explain anything. And I have to tell them, well, if you turn it in that way, it's for sure gonna get denied. We can go to the next slide. I think there's one more slide I have. Yeah, so there's the concentration. Oh, one more slide to the right. There we go. So once again, I did say that a maximum of 2 courses outside the political science department may be applied, but remember, it's for your upper divisions. Students are now required to identify the courses that match the content of those offered by the UCLA political science department, and students are not restricted to taking courses abroad only in their major. That's what I was saying in the beginning. You can take other courses outside your major, and you can get units for them, because the political science major alone, if no one's really told you all that yet, doesn't give you enough units to graduate. It's only, like I said, 5 lower division and 10 upper division. And 10 upper division is only 4 units each. That's only 40 upper division units when you need 60. So always keep that in mind. When you're studying abroad, kind of make sure you're looking at your schedule to make sure that you fit in, and know that when you're gone that semester or that quarter, you got to make sure you're still taking those other courses to fulfill those units that you're going to be missing if you're only doing political science. So a lot of students minor or double major. I know it's a lot of information, but if you have any more questions, just put them in the chat and I can answer them right now too. But thank you for that. So that's my part.
Okay, great. Let me go to the next slide. So basically, you can go abroad any quarter, summer, fall semester, spring semester, winter quarter. It really varies quite a bit on the classes that you're interested in taking. So it's pretty open. Most students, as you may already know, do choose summer because it is kind of the quick and easy option. It doesn't really interfere with, you know, maybe the beginning dates of a program. So, but anyway, so you can go abroad any term, basically. Okay, the next slide is really quickly some sample programs. So as you know, the UCLA International Education Office, we counsel for different programs. One of them is called the UCLA Summer Travel Study Program. And again, this one is 3 to 5 weeks. It's led by UCLA faculty members, UCLA professors. And one program that I do want to highlight is basically a history program. Unfortunately, this year, we will not be having a political science program. We've had it in the past. Hopefully next year it will come back. But I do want to highlight this one. It's a history program in Italy, where you spend several weeks in Pisa and 1 week in Rome. And again, this, if you're looking for upper division courses to fulfill your major requirements, maybe allied fields. So again, take this one into consideration for travel study. The other one that I do want to highlight is in New Zealand, and this one satisfies the diversity requirement. This one is basically upper division sociology, 4 weeks during the summer. So again, another great summer travel study program with UCLA professors, and mostly UCLA students go on this program. Again, this is open to anybody in the United States, as long as they're 18 and over students. Okay, another great program that we counsel for is called the UCLA Summer Global Internship Program. And this one basically is for UCLA students only, and it's only during the summer, and you are doing an internship. We have several countries to choose from: Argentina, South Africa, Ireland, Colombia, Vietnam. And this program starts early in the summer. And this one can satisfy your upper division elective in political science, as you see on the screen, Political Science 195 CE. It's an internship course. There's an additional optional course that you can take. And again, this is a great opportunity, very, very unique. Again, you're doing an internship. You're not getting paid, but you are getting units grades on your UCLA transcripts. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the next slide. The application opens October 24th, so look out for that, please. So there will be a specific political science webinar on October 26th. This is also on our website. And last year we had a handful of students that went on this program, and here is one of them. He went to Vietnam, and he's just expressing his point of view. Step out of your comfort zone. So again, make sure that you attend the political science overview on October 26th. Again, a lot of this information is on our website, but I briefly want to touch base with you on this. Okay, lastly, the other program that we advise for is UCEAP. It's a system-wide operation. So that means all the UC students from all the UCs, Berkeley, San Diego, they can all go on this program. You can go fall, winter, spring, summer, or the whole year. So here is one sample program. So again, these are the ones that have very strong offerings in political science. One of them is in Germany. Courses are taught in English. It's in Berlin at the Free University in Berlin. And this one you get to live, if you like, you can live with German host families. There's also a couple of excursions to nearby European cities and countries. And as you know, as you can see here on the sample courses, there are some really interesting courses that you can take, from Islam to Europe, contemporary Germany, and on the European perspective, media politics. So some very interesting programs and interesting courses to choose from. Two more programs that I want to highlight: Korea, Yonsei University. There's actually a couple of universities to choose from in Korea. Yonsei University is the most popular one because it is, they offer courses in English. They have courses, for example, about North Korea, the two Koreas, Korean War, and most of the courses are in English, and they're about 4 or 5 units each. Again, great option in Korea. And then the last one that I want to highlight is in Argentina and Chile. It's a joint program where you spend half of the time in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and half of the time in Santiago, Chile. This program is at two small private universities. They teach in English. You take classes with UC students, but you actually have the opportunity to be at the university and meet local students and local professors. So this one's a little bit of a hybrid program. Again, all courses are in English, 4 to 5 units, and this one deals specifically with human rights, poverty, both in Chile and in Argentina. Human rights and cultural memory. Again, those were just 3 out of dozens of programs to choose from. Definitely choose the course finder or the narrowing down your program page to help you narrow down your choices. Perfect. So at this point, I'm going to ask Tessa to turn on her microphone and her video. And Tessa, if you can please introduce yourself, let us know your major, your name, when you went abroad, and then I'll ask you some other questions in a second.
Sure thing. So, hi everyone, my name is Tessa. I'm a 4th-year political science major, and I went to Yonsei University during this summer.
Great, great. And is that breakfast that you're having in the picture there?
It is. It's at the 2D Cafe in Seoul.
Okay, great. It's a typical Korean breakfast.
Exactly.
Okay, great. Go ahead and stay on the line. So Wafik, go ahead and turn on your microphone and your video. Yes, perfect. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Wafik, and I just graduated in June actually with a double major in political science and linguistics and computer science. I also studied in South Korea at the same school, Yonsei University, and I studied there for the spring semester. And so that would be both winter and spring quarter at UCLA.
Okay, great, great. And you said you just graduated, correct?
Correct. Yeah, that's right.
Good, good. So, so right now, are you working full time?
Yes, working full time now. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And Tessa, you're back here at UCLA, correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, let's see, questions. So one of the first questions is, and anybody can start, if you can tell us, what courses did you take abroad? Whether it be political science or not. Maybe Tessa can start.
Okay. I took 3 classes. I took I guess the first one is somewhat political science, but I petitioned it for different credit. I took a North Korean human rights class. The second one was a Korean culture and society class, and the last one was East Asian cinema.
Great, great, perfect. Wafik.
Yeah, so in my semester there, I took about 5 classes. And so one of them was Korean language. So the first level of a Korean language class. I had also taken one political science class about Korea and East Asia international history. So really learning about Korea's role in international relations and their place in the world, as well as a class on Korean mental health, another one on K-pop and the history of K-pop and Korean music throughout the country, and then another on law and justice, which, although it was at Yonsei University, interestingly, it was about US law. So those were the 5 classes I took.
Wow, okay, good. So you're really busy.
Yeah.
That's great. So are you still petitioning for those classes from Korea to count for your major here as a political science? Did it count for your concentration or your electives? If you can explain that. We can go with Tessa first.
So I actually petitioned all of my units for a global studies minor, but I know that if I would have, I probably would have gotten it for certain concentrations. But I was able to get that petition within 2 weeks before even going. And it was really easy, very understanding. I would say it was a really easy process.
Great. Go ahead, Wafik.
Yes, in my situation, fortunately, I didn't have to petition. By the time I started study abroad, I had already completed all my requirements. And so it wasn't necessary in my case, but my political science class on Korea and East Asia international history, learning about the history and politics of Korea, international relations, and political theory in that class, I think that would have been definitely a good course for any political science student studying in Korea.
Okay, great. Thank you. And how would you like compare and contrast the professors in Korea to professors at UCLA? Likewise, were there any teaching assistants? Was there lectures? Were there discussions? So a little bit of a compare and contrast. And Tessa can start.
So funny enough, the professors that taught my summer courses were actually visiting professors from UC and a Cal State. And the third one was actually a director of his own organization. So I would say it was very similar to kind of the UC and UCLA format of teaching. It was very, I would say it was very laid back. It was fun just because it was summer and it was in Korea. So it's very similar to how certain students now are immersed in UCLA education.
Great, good. Wafik.
Yeah, in my experience, it was really interesting. What was interesting about most of the professors was that actually almost all of them were educated in the US or they were Korean American themselves. And so adjusting to the coursework at Yonsei was not a challenge at all. They were all really great professors. My political science professor, for example, a couple of them studied at University of Chicago. If you know anything about political science, that's a really good school for poli-sci. So my professors were really great. They were easy to getting along with, and I would say it was definitely worth my time.
Wow. Okay, great. I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear that it was a positive experience. So that's great. How easy or difficult was it to get to know Korean students in the classroom, outside of the classroom, also with social cultural events? Difficult or easy or in the middle? Tessa can start.
Okay. I would say for me, it was in the middle, mostly because most of the students in my program were from UCEAP. There was a good mixture of UC students, and then a lot of different ethnic backgrounds from other universities. It was a good mixture of West and East Coast American universities. But then again, there were also a few Korean American students that also came to immerse themselves and had other personal reasons. I would say, aside from that, engaging with actual students who actually go to Yonsei University, it was a bit difficult, mostly because it's a bit different. Just because you're there for English talk courses, if you're taking a Korean language class, of course, not that. But when it comes to engaging with them, it's a bit difficult just because it's a different world or environment for each one of you. They're probably doing something that is very accustomed to them, and you're here experiencing a new type of environment and world. And of course it's doable, but I definitely say it's a bit of a challenge. There's definitely a language barrier as well.
Mhm. Okay, go right ahead, Wafik.
Yeah, I agree. I was probably medium for me too, because in my classes, they're English taught classes. So the vast majority of students in there are international. So a lot of students from the US, but you also got students from Japan, Indonesia, Singapore, just very, very, very much from all over the world. My chances to meet any Korean students or any Koreans in general, interestingly enough, was just to involve myself in as many clubs as possible, preferably English speaking club. Their English magazine, or they have an English club where they Yonsei students, Korean students, partner up with someone who is fluent in English as a chance to practice their English, as well as a chance for me to practice my Korean. So there's those language exchange programs. And then it was just through those activities that I was able to make some friends, make some connections through there. And so really, in my opinion, if you really want to make some memories, make some connections there, you really just gotta put yourself out there, involving yourself in as many things as possible. I think eventually something will click.
Okay, great. Perfect. Maureen, at this point, do we have any questions from the students? I can't really see the chat right now.
Yeah, we had one question regarding the Global Cities program, if it will be running this upcoming year, but I already answered it. Unfortunately, the Global Cities program is suspended for the time being. Apologies about that. The second question is, where can I find more information about the petition process?
Okay, so basically on the UCLA IO website, there is under the academics section, there is something called maps, and there's one specifically for political science, and it gives you step-by-step information on how to petition. But I believe, Charlie, I believe does your department have step-by-step instructions on your website also?
Yeah, I did put it in the chat. I'll put it
Okay.
again just in case someone didn't see it. But yeah, that's where they get the petition form, and they need the syllabus, and then they send it to me. But there's instructions for that on there.
Okay, perfect. Great. Maureen, any other questions from the chat?
Yes, would it be possible to do two back-to-back sessions of the UCLA travel study program in the same or different locations? So I can answer that since it pertains to travel studies specifically. So you can do two travel study programs if they do not overlap, but unfortunately a lot of the dates do overlap because most start in session A. And something to keep in mind is that if you apply for financial aid during the summer, you will only get aid for one program. So that's something to kind of keep to consider. Some students do one travel study program and then decide, I want to do EAP the next year. You can always do that as well.
Okay, great. Any other
questions?
Let's see, I have two more questions, a couple more questions for the returning students. If you can briefly tell us about your housing in Korea. What did you guys choose?
So since Yonsei during the summer term is a very popular program in UCEAP, housing was a bit difficult to secure. So I just decided to Airbnb for the time being. It was honestly a very affordable option, and it was a great alternative too, especially for someone who's looking to get immersed in the city, not be directly on campus and have better opportunity to go out more and explore. So I Airbnb'd, and it was honestly a very doable walk or transportation to the university. It was about maybe a 15-20 minute walk from the university, so pretty close by.
Okay, great, thank you. Let's go with Wafik.
Yes, I stayed at SK Global, which is one of the international dorms at Yonsei University. And that dorm, you're surrounded by a bunch of other dorms as well at the school. You're surrounded by some restaurants. At the bottom of the dorm, there's a convenience store and some restaurants where you can go get lunch and breakfast at. So the location was very convenient. You had single and double rooms inside that dorm. I was in a double, and it was spacious enough, probably a bit more, probably around the same as UCLA for a double. So it was really easy to adjust to, and I really enjoyed staying there.
Okay, great. Thank you. Maureen, any other questions that have come in?
Nope. Not that I can see.
So yes, Tessa and Wafik, thank you very much. Any final advice, tips, heads up that you would want the UCLA students to know? Some of them will be going abroad actually this summer and fall, maybe winter. Anything that we forgot to ask you, Tessa or Wafik?
Yeah, definitely. I would say my best piece of advice is to really research the program you want to travel to, as well as the country, because there will be a lot of information overload, as well as cultural shock once you get there. And then my next piece is probably definitely keep up with the UCAP emails that instruct you on what to do, what the instructions are for preparing, because they will come in handy when it comes to the time to actually go out there.
Okay, great. Appreciate that, Tessa. And any final words from Wafik?
Yeah, I would say that if there's any advice you could give out, definitely just put yourself out there. Even for a semester, 4 or 5 months goes by really, really fast, and you want to make some great memories. So I would say just sign up for any club that you're interested in, find all your hobbies there. If you do martial arts here in the US, maybe try it in the country you're studying abroad in. It's a great way to make friends, make connections, as well as to learn more about the country. So really just throw yourself out there, involving yourself in as many things as possible, and I think you're going to have a great time.
Great, great. So thank you. I really appreciate that. Two more things. So again, the UCLA International Education Office is basically in operation Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. You'll find this information on our website. We do have limited hours of actually physically opening our doors. And that's basically from Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So, but we do have virtual advising. You can reach us over email, over phone. So we are also on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So again, we're there full time. So please reach out to us. All of our great advisors and counselors, we have all been abroad, traveled abroad. I myself was a UCLA student many years ago, and I did major in political science. I did international relations, and I was able to go for the whole year on UCEAP to Italy. So again, it's a great opportunity. So again, I'm gonna go ahead and.
Sorry, Danilo. We have one question I wanted to answer
Yes,
live really
yes.
quickly. One of the question is the deadline for travel study programs November 16th. So our registration opens November 16th. And it is first come, first serve. Some fill up quickly, others, take some time. But they close when they fill, essentially. So they can close, in April, depending on how many students enroll. But if you are interested, we definitely recommend that you register as soon as it opens on November 16th.
Great. And then again, just check out our websites. It will have the opening, closing dates, deadlines. Again, also all the webinars will be recorded for specifically for travel study, global internships, UCEAP. So make sure that you review all that. But again, also reach out to us if you have any specific questions. Okay, great. So I think I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.